My name is Eva Clarke, and I have the great good fortune to have been born at the gates of Mauthausen on the 29th of April 1945. But I better give you a bit of background. When my mother saw the name Mauthausen at the station, she had such a shock because, as opposed to when she'd arrived in Auschwitz not knowing what that was, this time she knew because she had heard about this appalling place from very early on in the war. And she said that when she saw the name Mauthausen, she always thought that that probably provoked the onset of her labor, because by this stage she was 9 months pregnant with me. My mother weighed 5 stone, 35 kilograms, and she was 9 months pregnant. One of her last memories just before my birth was the journey on a cart from the station up the very steep hill to the camp. And what struck her the whole time on that journey was how beautiful the countryside was. And she was always quite surprised that she was even having those thoughts, but I think she probably was thinking that it was going to be her last day on this earth. She was in labor when she had to climb off the train and onto a cart, and the cart was then pulled up to the camp, and I was born on this cart, and it was about 8 o'clock in the evening, and my mother was, surrounded by people who had typhus and typhoid fever, and there was a Nazi officer who saw that my mother was in child labor, and he said to her, "Du kannst weiter schreien." You can carry on screaming, because presumably she had been. And so I was born. I didn't move, I didn't breathe. And eventually the Nazis allowed a doctor to come to my mother, a doctor who was also a prisoner. And he came and he cut the umbilical cord and he smacked me to make me cry, to make me breathe. And there are 3 reasons why we survived. And the first one is that on the 28th of April 1945, the Germans had run out of gas for the gas chamber, and my birthday was the 29th. So presumably had the train arrived on the 26th or 27th, I wouldn't be talking to you now. The second indirect reason why we survived is because on the 30th of April, Hitler committed suicide. And the last and the best reason why we survived was because on the 5th of May, the 11th Armored Division of the American Army liberated the camp. My mother reckons she wouldn't have lasted much longer. They think I weighed 3 pounds, 1.5 kilograms at birth. And it is quite, well, I've always been known as a miracle baby, as have the other 2 as well.